What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Master Crafted. We are just going to be cranking out videos for the next couple days, going over all the new shit from the data slate. We are bringing on my good buddy and teammate Ryan to talk about all things more Dakka, the new detachment that just dropped. Phil, what are we going to be going over today?
Well, we are in a new age of 40K. We are now getting detachments in the data slate. That is definitely something new. I love it because, as I said previously, I love change. I love when things are forcing me to think differently, and we got some great detachments. And the first one that we're going over is more Dakka with the Orks. We're kind of going to talk about why you should probably just play this instead of Tactical now, because this is just straight up better. Yeah, we'll go over it. So the rule, Dakka, is during your shooting phase, ranged weapons equipped by Ork, Infantry, and Walker models have sustained hit 2. And then while the wall is active, ranged weapons equipped by Orks, Infantry, and Walkers have the Assault ability. That feels insanely good. Ryan, tell me I'm crazy. That's good, right? Like,
yeah, no, you're
all the time.
You are, yeah, just sustain 2, and in the WOG you have Assault, so your whole army gets advance and shoot and charge. It's so good. No, you're not crazy at all. You read that right.
Yeah, it seems like just a great foundation, a great rule. You know, Tactical, we mentioned we're going to talk about how it kind of got nerfed. These are just basically having orders that you could have just had in Tactical, right? They just come with it. You don't have to tell anybody it. They're ready to rock and roll. They got sustained hits too for those shooting units. And now you go, well, cool, I'm going to WA, and I get to do everything I could ever want to do, because advanced shoot and charge, that covers all the bases.
Yeah, and units like Flash Gits become suddenly like double amazing. They were good. They were a good backbone unit for any Ork list, and now they're just like, I think they're mandatory just because their melee profile, their base strength 5, AP 1 damage. They go to strength 6 on the WOG, and you can advance and shoot and charge. So now you can advance, shoot, charge, and with their Overwatch is oppressive, so they're picking up basically 3 units for 1. It's so good.
Yeah, that is super strong. We're going to get into some of those strong combinations in just a little bit, though. We'll go through the enhancements next. First up, we have the Gobshot Thunderbuss. Ork model only, ranged weapons equipped by the bear have the devastating wounds and hazardous abilities. It only applies to that model itself, not its whole unit. Is this something you think you're going to be taking, Ryan?
I think so. It's good. I think it'd take a back seat to a few things. I mean, this one's, I think, 20 points, or I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, a nice little cheeky devastating wounds on a shock attack gun. Just, hey, you just don't get saves, and D6 mortals is really nice. Just out of nowhere, and a 60-inch range on that is super good.
Yeah, very strong. It is 15 points. Phil, do you want to go over the next one?
Yeah, Dead Shiny Shooters. I will say, we've talked about this before. Orks have the coolest names for their weapons, for their abilities, for their art. Like, everything is just so cool. So Dead Shiny Shooters, Orks models only. Ranged weapons equipped by the model in the bearer's unit have rapid fire 1. Now, this feels like something that you probably are going to find a time for, because it is applying to the entire unit.
I agree. I think you're going to find time for it. It would require a special unit, maybe like Tank Busters or something, because you can't really put that on a character and attach it to a Flash Git unit, because no character's attached to Flash Gits except in Tactical. And then almost every other shooting unit already has rapid fire on it. So I feel like it could be kind of a little niche pick.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I still think slapping that in with some tank busters, it's not going to hurt any. Get a little closer, an extra 6 shots with those guns as they get close. it's not going to hurt anything. That's for sure.
No,
and
not
the
at
cool
all.
thing is
Against it.
that will apply to that unit while they're still within a truck. So it's just going to chug on up the field and still be safe as it slaps out those additional attacks.
All right.
All right.
What's the next one, Lane?
Next up, we have targeting squigs. Orc model only. Each time a model in the bear's unit makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Just solid. If orcs could do one thing better, then we found out from tactical, hitting better is one of them that they really like. So, let's just sprinkle some of that in.
Oh yeah. It's just icing on the cake. And also giving anything in that unit instead of hit on 5s, hit on 4s base. I think that one's kind of mandatory.
Yeah, very, very good.
That one, Lane?
That one is 15. The second one was 35 for the rapid fire. So it is a little pricey on that one for sure.
Yeah. I would definitely take the +1 to hit first, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so good. All right. Last one, Zolgoth and Dakka. Orc model only. The bear's unit is eligible to shoot in a turn which it fell back.
Fall back and shoot is so good. And you don't kill that unit, it falls back and just kills you. Like, you want to hold down a shooting unit and then suddenly you're not holding it down. It really changes a board state fast.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It's definitely...
It's so interesting, right? Like, that is... We talked about it when we were going through, like, Space Marines, and we were going through, like, the Ork Detachment. That is probably 3 out of 4 of those are pretty good. Like, Devastating Wounds, that's kind of cheeky. Dead Shiny Shootas is probably priced out. Like, 35 points might be too much. But the 3 of those are relatively reasonable and good for the detachment as a whole.
No, and I absolutely agree. It's kind of everything that you want in a shooting detachment for orcs, just because they're shooting without support tends to be lackluster, and then when you support the shooting, it just gets out of this world.
Yeah, orcs definitely needed to be good in both phases of the game. We definitely know that to be true. And I'm glad they're doing it for them. It really is. You love to see it.
Lane, they were struggling before. They were bottom of the barrel. Orcs weren't even doing good.
Such a rough life, living the WoW life,
I can't complain. I'm sitting on a beach, sipping drinks and sitting in the sun for now. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, you get at least to enjoy another 3 months of this. You might have to buy some more models to kind of, live the most of your dreams after you were chasing down the tactical list that most Orc players did not have ready and available to go either. But we are going to just keep on trucking, going into the strats. First off, we have Orcs is still Orcs, and this is just such a solid strat. In the fight phase, 1 Orc unit from your army that has not been selected to fight until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets enemy unit, reroll a wound roll of 1, and if that enemy unit is on an objective marker, you can reroll all wounds instead. 1 CP, reroll all wounds potentially, or even ones. Don't hate that.
Nope. And it just makes any melee unit just really good.
Jesus.
It seems really solid. You're absolutely right. We're 1 for 1 on strats. I don't know what more you could say about it. Your opponent has to be on objectives to win the game. They cannot just hide there and not be on objectives. You have to score primaries or else you will lose. So your trading units just go up there, even if it's a lower, like a smaller sized boys squad. They just go in, they reroll wounds, they punch up with Power Claw and everything like that, and they probably just pick up what's on the objective.
Yeah. And even just like a 5-man unit of knobs, with all Power Claws, just 5 Power Claws, it'll pick up almost anything with reroll wounds. Just AP 2 damage, reroll everything is so good.
So good.
All right, moving right along. Phil, what do we got next?
Get stuck in, lads. It's your command phase. 1 Orc unit from your army until the start of your next command phase. The WOG is active for your unit, even if you have already called a WOG this turn. That is so huge. So huge. You could put your unit in WOG if you've already done it or you haven't done it yet. So a lot of the times, Orcs is just like on your WOG turn, it's the go turn, you have to send it. Now you could be like, well, I can actually trade even better now because I'm just going to put this one unit in WOG. I'm going to send it across the board. I'm going to go trade where I need to. I'm going to trade up because then maybe I pay the CP for reroll wounds, and I have advance in charge, and I have an invul, and now I'm just punishing you. But I still have the WOG in my back pocket for when either you try to apply pressure to me or I want to actually like end this game right now.
Absolutely. And then it even comes into play and it really pays dividends even later in the game because, like, holding on to your WOG for your whole army, I've found playing orcs, if you do it like third or fourth turn, sometimes it can be so effective where you've just been playing this little cagey game and then out of nowhere, like, you go, your army just goes insane. But having this, you can call an earlier WOG for higher pressure and even hitting really hard, and then still be able to WOG all over again. And I mean, so many armies have to play around and respect when you call the WOG, and now you can just call it on demand. It's so nice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think being able to just keep your full army WA until even turn 4, where people are just going to have to sit there and respect you while you're going, all right, well, this is going to run across the board, do everything I need it to do, and go trade up, because that's what the WA does, and be a pain in the ass to deal with. And you just go, okay, cool. Well, you get done dealing with that. I might decide to do the rest of my army now.
Yeah, and I apologize.
No, you're good.
Oh yeah, it's like on demand, advance, shoot, and charge, +1 strength, +1 attack, 5 up invuln for 1 CP. Insane.
Yeah, there are. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say this is the best strat. Like, the other ones are good. But for 1 CP, this is by far the best strat, which is crazy because some of these other ones, we already said reroll wounds is awesome, right? Like, now I have free, like, potentially a WOG a turn for 1 key unit. This is like the best strat, but the other ones are still good.
Yeah, this is an S tier strat, like, instantly.
Yeah, it is insanely strong. And moving on, I'm going to do the same thing I did the last time we talked to Bridgehead, and I'm going to ruin it. I'm going to talk about the dud in the group, and we'll go with huge show-offs. In your command phase, 1 walker unit, excluding killicans from your army until the start of your next command phase. Improve your move, leadership, objective characteristics by 1. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Like, it's not bad, but it's not one you're going to be spamming in here.
No, it's cute. I mean, you're just like this, I don't know, Morkanot or whatever. You're just like, sure. It's fine. Or a Death Dread. Sure. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. I will say,
Stompa.
you said it.
And that's the only place I want to see you use this as a player, is on a Stompa.
I was about to say,
yes,
you could run Stompas. You could have Stompas with +1 to hit, with sustain. Like, that's actually, like, I guarantee you someone's going to try to run it.
Gold. Like, in that scenario, it is not a terrible stratagem anymore. Like, no. Like, now if you're running a Stompa, that is your stratagem. You're like either all in on this side of orcs, or you're not running it at all.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
So good. But you said it's a dud. It's not really a dud. Like, no. If you actually needed to use it, it is actually good.
Yes, it's just by far like the most niche, I feel like.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
By far. Like, it is the least used out of the 6 so far, in my opinion, but
yeah, for sure. All right, well, the next one is, we're back on the train of good strats. So, long, uncontrolled bursts. It is the least orky name. I'm not a fan, but it is something. Start your shooting phase, 1 orc character model from your army. Select 1 enemy unit within 18 of your orc character model. It does not say visible until the end of the phase. Weapons equipped by orcs models from your army have the ignore cover ability while targeting that unit.
So good. So good. Especially that it doesn't say visible. So you could basically give a buff to like, say, yeah, you can give a buff to things that are just, you need to kill something, but the only character can't see it. It's fine. You just pick them out and the rest of your army gets buffs against it.
Yeah, because my initial thought was like, is this the unit that character is attached to? It's not. The character is just targeting. So like Flash Gits, who would love to strip cover, right? They're going out, the character's pulling cover off it, and now Flash Gits are just free firing into whatever it is they need to go into, and they just kill it. Now they just kill it even more.
Yeah, and flash kits are AP1, so that cover is vital to survive against the flash kit shooting. And if someone just strips it, all of a sudden you feel pretty naked when it's all 2 damage hits and there's 40 shots coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, very spicy. I mean, even just the additional, since it covers the entire phase, tank buses, gotta love it. Just anything that's shooting, ignore cover, sounds great to me. And I agree, Phil, 100%. It should have been like no more Iden or something. Like it's got to be a better name. We got to work it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Long and uncontrolled burst. Come on, James Workshop, get it together. We know you can do better. All right, moving on. We have special shells, and the spelling is correct on this one. In your shooting phase, 1 orc unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible target within 18, improve that AP characteristic of the ranged weapon by 1. Great.
AP2
Ryan,
shooting.
When you're advancing and shooting, is there a possibility you're going to be within 18 inches of your target?
Almost all your entire army, probably. You could just be like, these tank busters are within 18 inches, and with the tank busters getting their like pulsar rocket, they become AP4 tank busters. Yeah, why not?
Ugh.
Yeah. That seems like a decent strat, Yeah, I'd say we're at least still like 4.5 of 5. I'd say on good strats.
Oh yeah, and then even on this AP2 flash gets with a 1 per turn lethal and sustain 2. Sure, yeah. Let's just the AP2 is the breakpoint on pretty much anti-tank or anti-elite AP. So let's just go there with that too.
Yeah, AP2 ignoring cover.
If you're looking to spend some CP, I mean, ooh, God, solid. Can't complain.
All right, the last one, called that Dakka. Your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit is shot, 1 orc unit from your army that had 1 or more of its models destroyed as a result of the attacking units. Your unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but must target only that enemy unit when doing so, and can only do so if that enemy unit is an eligible target. So obviously you can't shoot something that indirects you from behind a wall or anything like that. Yes.
Right. And I like that this is 1 CP. So like you got a big blob of flash kits or a big blob of lootas, and someone's like, oh, I'll kill 2 of your lootas. And you're like, okay, my spanners die. And here is 24 strength 8 AP1 2 damage, sustain 2 shots right back at your face.
Now,
Yeah, I know, like, go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I'm just curious. So if someone has a reactive after they shoot, I assume those occur at the same time. So they would be able to determine the layering for that in terms of when this would go off and when the reactive move would happen.
Yeah,
So, like,
I think so, because the controlling player controls the priority.
Correct. So there are ways at least to play around that, potentially. But yes, that was my initial thought. Go ahead, Wayne.
I was just going to say, like this, especially for armies that require like kind of layerings and buffs, like if I were to just try to put a Hellhound to try to get it to where I can ignore cover the rest of my shooting phase to help my other tanks clear those gets. Now, if I do that to your tank busters and I maybe kill 1, you just go, okay, boom, dead Hellhound on my turn. And I'm like, worth it. Great.
Yep.
Perfect.
And another thing to note is it's 1 CP in like armies like Votann and off the top of my head, just Votann pay 2 CP for the same thing.
Perfect. You love to see it.
Yeah, that feels pretty good, Ryan. That feels really good.
Feels nice.
Yeah. All right,
Man.
so we've gone over the detachment. It feels really solid. It feels beyond solid. It feels like the meta menace. Well, that's what I think we should call it. Like any of these detachments that are really strong, they're meta menaces, and this definitely feels in line with that in terms of the tools that it has. It's like tactical on steroids, it almost feels like.
Yeah.
The WOG alone is like really, really good. I've already seen a few combinations, so let's get into those, because I think there's some really interesting ones, especially with like even just like Gazkul on his own with just him and Makari. And yeah, I'd be curious your thoughts on that.
Gazgul with just Makari, I mean, it's nice. I mean, he crits on 5s, but the only thing is the problem like that I see is you don't really have an outlet for sustained for Gazgul. So like he's just six attacks. So you're not getting any more. So the crits on 5s for hitting doesn't really pay off. It's if you put maybe a big unit of Mega Knobs with him, he gives that unit +1 to hit and +1 to wound, and they get a 5-up Feel No Pain and in the WoG. Suddenly things get real cute when you start using Mega Knobs there. Another combo that I saw that is kind of nice is the Mega Knobs with maybe a Big Mech and Mega Armor. So they'll have a 4-up invuln against shooting, a 5-up Feel No Pain. You can resurrect one per turn, and the Mega Knob or the Big Mech in Mega Armor also has a gun, and that gun is D6 damage as well. So that gets sustained too, and advance and shoot. And you can put that unit in the WoG on demand, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, because Makari, doesn't he give lethals as well? He's got an aura of lethals in the WoG.
In the WoG, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't see this detachment using a ton of melee. And if Gazgul needs lethals, I mean, he's strength 14, I believe. Like he's wounding most things on 3s. It's nice, but I mean, I feel like it's too expensive for what this wants to do. There's a lot of detachments that don't really jive or click real well with Gazgul that I've seen. Warhorde really works with Gazgul just because the aura of lethals and on top of it the +2 advance and charge. He mainly moves just 5 inches, and if you end up rolling like a 2, you now have a Gazgul that's just stuck in your back line where your whole army has just passed him. So it's a little hard, and he's 235 points, where that's 235 points is like 2 units of Lootas. Like 2 10-man units of Lootas. So I feel like your points could be spent a little better elsewhere. But if you want to bring them, it's still kind of nice, and I would definitely think about maybe the Mega Knobs, which would really help. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Just off the rip here, I would say I agree with that sentiment. I feel like MSU is kind of king right now, and just taking more small units of orcs that all slap. I mean, we talked a lot about GSC having very efficient trading units. Orcs in this detachment are going to, especially like Flash Gits, as you were talking about, great shooting, great. They're just going to do everything you need them to do. You don't need to be taking anything big or flashy with this detachment. You just need some stuff to go out there and trade efficiently, and it has the stratagem support to help it.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think Beast Boss and Beast Boys would be very interesting in this detachment, because that Beast Boss with the dev wounds on the turn he charges, an anti-vehicle 4-up, re-roll the wounds for a CP. Suddenly you get 7 or 8 attacks and re-roll the wounds, so you get basically roughly 6 4-ups for 2 dev wounds each. It's like 12 mortal wounds just right away. It just start off the melee like with a bang.
Yeah, and even those Beast Boys as well, even if it's not a vehicle or monster, that they're swinging into, they're gonna chunk for pretty cheap as a whole for what that combination costs.
Yeah, they're strength 5 base, so then on the WoG they go strength 6, and 4 attacks each is no joke at AP 1 damage. I mean, plus the like power snapper that they have, it shreds. And just a 10-man unit and a beast boss for 95 points and then 80 for so like 175 will pick up even like good fighty units in the game. It'll strike up, especially with the reroll wounds.
It's nice. This detachment does feel like well balanced in the sense that it encourages you for some combat, right? Like it wants you to take some combat units. The reroll wounds, I think you would be silly to not have something that couldn't take advantage of that stratagem because it is
Right.
only fight phase, right? But it has so much shooting support with the detachment rule and all of those things. Like you take your good combat units that are good anyways, and they just get better because now they're rerolling wounds, and then you're just loading out your great shooting units that you just have been using throughout pretty much all of Tactical Brigade and everything like that. So why don't you give us a rundown of the list that like or the lists or units that jump out to you that if you were to recommend to our viewers, like this is what you have to have. You should be running this in this detachment. It would be a waste not to.
Absolutely. I think for starters, just right off the top of my head, Lutas, I mean, just the sheer damage output. Plus, they have reroll ones all the time and reroll all hits if you're standing on an objective. And as you said, Phil, you want to stand on objectives to win the game. And suddenly you have 24 shots with sustain 2 rerolling everything. And they're strength 8. And just the shooting support there is so ludicrous. The math tips so hard.
Was that a pun, by the way? Loota-Cris?
Yeah.
I just had to
Oh,
point
yeah,
out.
yeah. Intentional. We'll go with that. Flash gets, I mean, being able to 2-for-1, you have a good melee profile on a really good shooting platform. On top of the flash gets and the Lutas both have the heavy keyword, and Lutas are 36-inch range. So sometimes you don't even need to move them. And now they hit on 4s, reroll everything. Hitting on 4s, rerolling or sustain 2 on flash gets. Tank busters really shine. I've been using tank busters in Tactical Brigade, and they have killed almost everything that I point them at, and now giving them sustain 2 is just insane. And they have a +1 to hit and +1 to wound against vehicles and monsters on their data sheet. Like they just go from an effective unit to a really bright shining star in this detachment. As far as melee, there's not too much. I would probably like sprinkle in maybe some Beast Boys or some knobs just for some kind of melee threat that the opponent has to respect. But other than that, I would lean really hard into shooting in this detachment.
Taking advantage of sustain 2 just across the board? What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sold. I'll do that if I play Orcs.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I hear a lot of people who get really shy about the 5-up ballistic skill on the Orcs, but when you add sustain 2, it's like adding +1 to your ballistic skill every time, every sustain, like mathematically. And then with heavy, it goes to 4s, and then sustain 2 is basically mathematically 3 hitting on 2s, but it can spike, especially when you add rerolls. So when it spikes, it can spike hard. It's not unheard of hitting like 3 6s in one shot and then reroll and hit like 3 more 6s. I mean, there's 18 hits right there in just 6 6s. And that's not unheard of, especially in Orc shooting. So just sprinkle in extra 18 hits. I'm in it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
All right.
Okay.
So we have made kind of a base list for viewers to maybe work around with and start with. What are some maybe counterplays that you think are going to be able to help non-Orc players deal with this seemingly somewhat oppressive list?
Right off the bat, the number one boogeyman that I see is the Ynnari. The Enhanced detachment loves it when you shoot them, and this detachment wants to shoot them. And I mean, in order to keep up with what that Ynnari detachment does, you got to have a flow chart, because they can just do everything when you shoot at them. React move, they move during your shooting phase. And so, I mean, you can sticky. Right there's like, I think your biggest scare. I haven't looked too much into the new demons, but I think there's some play there. Other than that, nothing jumps out super fast unless you got maybe you're a Hammer of the Emperor detachment, Lane. Just, I think this detachment might struggle because it doesn't have like the lethals to help other than just on the flash kits. So like T12 bodies, lots of them. So you have like 3 Dorns and like 2 Lehman Russ, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't really hurt you very well. Big Knights. I think I think like War Dog spam we're okay against because it's T10 and most of our guns are strength 8 and 6, so I think we're okay there. But like the big knight chassis or the new Great Unclean one that's T13, that is going to get really, really tough to shift. Just because you don't have the things that you normally have as an orc that deals with your big tough bodies like your Breaka boys and most of your beast bosses and knobs. You just don't have them in this detachment.
Yeah, I think those are very fair assessments. The only other one I can think of is potentially Death Guard. If they are passing out some -1s to ballistic skill, that is definitely going to hurt. I know as a guard player too, I am going to be using smoke every single shooting phase of yours. I can't not do it. Those are just kind of the things you're going to have to save for. Anything that can make orcs hit a little worse in the shooting phase will definitely help. Because it's having sustain 2 is, like you were saying, the equivalent of extra +1s to hit. So you have to be counteracting that as best you can. Plenty of screening as well is important. Tank busters, what is their range off the top of your head? Do you remember?
They're 24-inch range, so they are a little tough. But with the advance and shoot, it does cover. It helps. But again, if you're just taking away their ability to hit you effectively, then if you make them hit on 6s and they only get 1/6, they only get 3 hits. That's it. And you're like, I could deal with 3 hits instead of, hitting on 4s and the extra hits.
I mean, you're probably happy that Legions of Excess is gone, because I don't know how much you would enjoy those giant demons in your face. That can be a little oppressive, but that is now gone. Bridgehead, I think, could have been an issue, right? Because in terms of like the amount of things that they can pick up, and they could trade, previously trade really well into it. Now that being gone, the meta is kind of like blown wide open with both of those being knocked back down.
Absolutely. With Bridgehead getting the bat that it had, I think Bridgehead would be another one right off the top of my head that would really, really hurt this detachment, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, pour one out for Andre. He can just be sad about that and go back to playing Hammer himself. But yeah, I definitely agree. Bridgehead would have maybe been a natural predator. They do just fine into a lot of, strength or toughness 5 targets as well and stuff, and just have mass volume to deal with that amount of bodies, but not so much anymore. So I guess, cross that one off the predator list and keep on trucking forward, just worrying about Dark Eldar and just living your best orc life, man.
I can't complain, man. I picked up orcs when they weren't very good, and suddenly they got a bunch of buffs, and I'm like, hey, these guys they're pretty tasty.
Well, the meta has definitely shifted. We are definitely in a unique time as we get ready for RMO. Both of you will be there, and I expect to see some 6-0s from new orcs and Imperial Guard maintaining the standard. But it is definitely interesting. It is definitely a unique time to play 40K, because we've got some serious changes in this data slate. We'll see how it all shakes out. Lane, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. That has been some great, just rapid fire coverage of a new detachment. Thanks again, Ryan, for coming on. It's great. Finally got you on. It's great to have you.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
you will tune in very soon. We are doing more detachment reviews on more of the new detachments. We got Chaos Demons coming up next as the golden boy of Custodes. I'm going to go over that detachment because I will tell you right now, I am running that. I am running that detachment. I'm going to keep running that detachment. I have never been more excited. Like Solar Spearhead, I didn't enjoy that. I've played it a few times. Did not have fun doing that. This detachment looks awesome, and I'm going to run it like tomorrow.
So what you're saying is you're putting your Gene Stealers on the shelf finally? You can't play 2 armies.
Correct. I cannot play 2 armies. And the other problem is I still am getting ready for teams, but I want to have as many armies lined up as possible. So I am going to play Custodes. I have my Death Watch that I've been running, and I've really enjoyed that. But I can't run that in teams because we got Roddy who's running Space Marines. But I can run Custodes, I can run GSC, I can run Death Guard, and that I think Death Guard is very good right now. And I'm very happy with where they're at. I'm just keeping my base really wide, so when 40K Fight Club comes to the table, we have a diverse team.
Yeah, and all of those picks are so good for, especially in the team meta. Death Guard can, if you let them through, they're just gonna hit you as well. I mean, all of those are tough nuts to crack.
Correct, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. And before we just go off on a whole other tangent, I'm going to cut us off there. Plenty of teams content, especially after RMO. We're going to get into how all of that works and give plenty of great examples and kind of how our teams operate as well. But for now, thanks for coming to this Detachment Declassified as we went over the more Dakka orcs. And don't forget, everybody, victory isn't given, it's forged. And we'll see y'all next time.